Okay, so if you remember the last animation or the video, we made this animation. It's just a simple loop right now. There's no stop associated with the actions layer. That's okay. Here's what I'd like to do. Let me clip the background here. And if I play the playhead, this is what I want to happen. I want my text to do a little reveal that way. Then I want it to go the opposite way. Then I want it to come back and show up and stay centered. And I don't want it to be staggered the way this is. I want it to be nice and straight. I can do this using the same animation that I've already created. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to open this up just a little bit bigger. And I'm going to select all the layers here. I'm going to right click and copy the layers. I'm going to click on the top flash animation layer, the motion guide layer, and I'm going to do paste layers. And I'm going to do that again. I'll click on the top one in here, right click, and paste layers again. Now I'm going to stagger them. I'm going to select the first, or rather I should say the second grouping, holding the shift key down and clicking on that. So I clicked on here first, then I held the shift key down and clicked over here. Now I can just slide them over. So they're staggered right there. So that's right after the first animation. Do the same thing over here. Hold the shift key down and drag these so that they're right after the second animation, just like that. Okay, so now the first one's relatively easy. This one, to make it go backwards, all you have to do is select all the animations and then right click and then do a reverse. And if we slide this a little bit, now we're going to move the playhead to the front here. And you can see the letters come in. And now, because they were reversed, they come in from the other side and they do their little thing. Now this one in here, they're still doing the same thing. Okay, so on these, on this one over here, this one now, I want to come in straight and stay there. So let me turn on or turn off the masking option in here so we can see what I'm doing. I want the letters to end up like that. And they already do that. So all I have to do is move the whole animation over to the left. Now in order to move the whole animation to the left, I need to be able to select the whole animation. And in the current configuration, I can't do that. But there is an option up here that allows me to edit multiple frames at the same time. I'm going to click on that. And when I select it, it gives me these little indicators that let me know which range of frames I'm working with. So right now, if I did a select all, it's only selecting the artwork and the frames at the end, not these frames over here. I want to also select these. So I got to grab this little bar here and move it all the way over to that end right in there. So now in here I have access to all the frames. If I do a select all, you can see that it's selected everything. So with my cursors, I'm just going to move this over to the left. And I'm just going to try to eyeball it, as best as I can from here. And that's my animation. So this is going to, let me turn off my edit multiple keyframes. This is going to come over here from this side and it's going to come in with a wiggle and stop in the center. And so the other thing I want to do is throw in a stop. So while I'm at the very last frame over here, I'm on the third frame over here, I can go all the way to the top and click right there, and that lines up with my actions. I can do an F6 there. I'll do a right click, go to actions, click in here, type in the word this, followed by stop, open and close parentheses, semicolon, and now we'll see the animation. I'm not done fine-tuning it yet, but most of the hard lifting is done, so to speak. So here goes from left to right to left, and then it comes to the center. Okay, so I want it to come in with a soft landing. So the back end of the animation over here, I'm going to select those keyframes, and I'm going to come down here to the frame setting, and I want to do an ease in. So it's going to start off fast at 100, and then it's going to come in for a soft landing. So let's test that and see what that looks like. So it goes up, it goes left, and then it comes in, and it comes in for a soft landing. So that looks pretty good. I'd like to have this centered, and I'd like to have the other animations higher and lower. So this set over here, this animation set, I'd like to have all of these a little bit higher. So I'm going to zoom away here so I can just give you a better view of what I'm doing down here. Okay, again, use the Edit Multiple Keyframe option. Select your clamps so that they only select the first range of the frames. Do a select all, and now I can nudge this just a little bit higher. Not a lot, just a little bit. And now I'll go to the second cluster here. I'll come over here and I'll hold the shift key down. So now I've got this range over here. This is a little too big. I don't want it to select the ones at the end. I only want to select this cluster in here. So I do a select all. You can see that the blue selection indicates what's selected. This one I want to be a little bit lower. So with the shift key down, I'm just going to slide it down a little bit. And then we'll turn that off just so we can see it. We'll test it right now so you'll see what's starting to happen. And then this comes in and stops. This one I want to be centered. Okay, so now we'll come over here, click on that first frame, turn on the Edit Multiple Keyframes tool. Let's grab this to the end over here. There we go. So now this clamp in here is within that range. I can do a select all, select just this cluster here, and now I'm just going to nudge it down and just kind of eyeball it. Looks like it needs to go a little to the left from my perspective. And I can keep on trying it in here and just see what it does. Nice thing about this is that it is going to stop in the center. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so simple modification using the same animation. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's the same type of animation with a variation. So it works good as far as presenting something on a banner. Obviously, it doesn't have to be Cal State Fullerton. If you're doing this to submit, you need to remember to make an outline out of your text, because if you're working with an unusual font, I won't be able to open it up and look at it. So please, please, please remember to go to the individual letters and break them apart one at a time. So this is the way you would do that. Double click, go inside in here, do a Command B, go to the next one, break that apart, break that apart, and I'm just working my way down the letters. And obviously for impact, I don't need to worry about this font because it's obviously loaded on my computer. But if you're using some unusual font that I don't have access to, you're going to have to break it up. And it also usually makes this thing look a little bit cleaner when you're dealing with outlines as opposed to a font. And it comes into a slowdown. As far as disability issues go, we can give alternative text in HTML to the canvas, so you don't have to worry about that description not being able to be read. But that is something that we should worry about, and we'll talk about that towards the end of the project.